So let's get started. So in this session, we're going to talk about uh, BI in the Zoho ecosystem. So obviously, you all know BI stands for the business intelligence and what we do in terms of AI capabilities, right? So as Ali mentioned, I'm Silas. I'm one of the senior product managers at Zoho Analytics, been here for more than 12 years. And I am taking care of a lot of things in AI in specific. So I take care of the product management for a lot of AI related features in the product. So I'm just going to go through certain things here. I'm just going to touch base the state of AI. It's just an introduction, and then followed by the evolution of BI. And then I'll get into the AI capabilities across the BI platform that we have, right from the data management, analysis, model building, and all those stuff, like the ML model building. And then I'll quickly touch base at kind of like a sneak peek of what's coming up in the next couple of months, particularly in the AI, right? So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to spend some more time on that and so on, and take it further from there. So in terms of state of AI, I know this is the AI track. You would have seen a lot of reports, but this is one of the interesting report I follow very often from McKinsey, that how exactly the AI adoption is growing over a period of time. So you can have a look at that. It was gradually growing, but if you can see the line at the bottom in blue color, it is exponentially growing in terms of the adoption in any given organization. So they use at least one business functions, they use AI, and that's exponentially growing over a period of time. And okay, no problem. All right, so also we see that where do we see more AI adoptions? So these are all the top trends. So of course, the chatbot. Chatbot is kind of like a generic because we cannot scope it to one specific area of function like BI or sales or marketing or something. Chatbot is something that is used across the platforms, and analytics is one of the primary adopter in terms of this chatbot interface, where you type in what you want and build the reports that what you're looking for, right? Or perform any analysis. So it's not something that been here in the last couple of years. The natural language processing and natural language querying of BI analytics has been there for last like 6-7 years, right? So it was trending right from 2017-18. So we launched the Ask Zia in 2018. Okay, so it was using different technologies behind the scenes, but now it is evolving towards LLM-based natural language querying and processing and analysis, right? So in terms of how AI evolved over a period of time in BI, and then I'll come to the point of what are all the capabilities that we offer in terms of the AI, right? So if you're aware of the BI industry for a long time, it was all about, it starts with coding, right? So you need to do SQL things on your database. You need to write codes and script to fetch the data and then group the data and then try to analyze it by creating that old looking 3D charts, right? So long back. That was the first version of the BI usually. And then the self-service things came into the game, right? So it's all self-service. People can simply drag and drop it and build things what they want. And that was super easy compared to what you do it in the coding at the time. And of course, that's where the self-service platform evolved. The importance of the BI was significant in most of the industries, because you were collecting huge volume of data and you don't know what's happening in the business. So you need to analyze it. So that's where the self-service evolved over a period of time. But now as we speak, right from all the BI, I mean, right from the data connection all the way to the governance and security, all stages of a BI journey is completely powered by AI. So right from assessing your data quality, like whether it is good to go for analysis or any other purpose, or performing pre-built data preparation and transformation, or analyzing the data, or getting insights, generating insights, and a lot more, everything is powered by AI now. So on that front, what we do in terms of AI currently as we speak, and what are we going to do in the next few months from here? So 3 areas where you can see the AI adoption in BI. The first one is data preparation and modeling. So you have to prepare your data to perform any analysis. That's the crucial part. So it doesn't even make sense when you talk about AI or any other technology if your data is clumsy, right? So if your data is messed up, it's nowhere that you can go ahead and perform anything on top of it, right? So data preparation part is a very crucial layer. And then you get into the model buildings. This is not essential for all types of businesses, but whenever you have enterprise and you're looking for some kind of like an advanced analysis such as prediction, forecasting, clustering, and all those activities, right? So that's where you go ahead and build machine learning models, ML models, which is customized and personalized for your business use cases. And of course, we have incorporated AI in that layer, which eventually helps you to build ML models without any coding. And then the third layer is where you see a lot of features in place, right? So that's where this Ask Zia, the natural language querying things comes up, the Zia Insights, which can generate insights on top of your data set, and all those stuff comes in as a part of it. So let's get into the AI-based data preparation. So when it comes to this AI-based data preparation part, there are different components involved in it, right? So the first one is all about performing any preparation and transformation task using the natural language, meaning you just type in what you want and it helps you to prepare your data. That's first capability. Lot of AI-powered assistance in terms of formula building and preparation part, transformed by examples, like you know what is the output that you need, but you're not sure how to do things, right? So all these capabilities are available in the data preparation layer. But moreover, if you look at this in a very broader perspective of how this works, most of the AI capability powered by Zoho is something that built by Zoho. It's our proprietary stack that we built it to support this. But certain skill sets, we are yet to support it. We are moving towards the direction. And that's what I'm going to talk about at the end in terms of the roadmap and what's coming up. But on that front, we provide option to the end users to integrate with public LLMs or third-party LLMs like OpenAI. Currently, it is scoped down to OpenAI, but we are also planning to enable the integration with any LLMs at your choice. You can also bring your own LLM if you want and perform any task on top of it. So we are moving towards the direction, but currently a lot of capabilities are powered by OpenAI. Not a lot, but some skill sets are powered by OpenAI inside Zoho Analytics. And how that works, it works with bring your own key model, meaning you need to go ahead and configure this inside your organization settings page, just with your key, OpenAI key. And what we do in terms of the data privacy and security part, we don't send your data to OpenAI. We just use only the column names and table names and metadata information, but the transactional data inside it, we don't go ahead and send your transactional data to OpenAI. But we are also trying to enable a lot of things in different layers, which I'll touch base a bit more detail in the roadmap part. So we have some examples contextually. I'll just quickly go through that. So let's assume that you're trying to bring data from your source in form of like obviously a structured data with columns and rows, right? Typically, data prep will help you to assess your data quality, like how the data looks like. And I mean, you have some invalid data, you have some mismatched data type, or you have some inconsistency values inside it. So in this case, it highlights that there are a lot of incorrect values or invalid values, like empty values across the data set, like in a gray color at the top in terms of assessment. But also you can see that there is a highlight saying that the email column has some problem because there is a value called mail to colon and all those stuff, right? So we need to fix this. How you can do that? You can simply invoke Ask Zia, and this is powered by OpenAI, meaning this natural language processing is powered by OpenAI. So you can enable this integration, but as I said, we are not sending your data to OpenAI. We use only your metadata information like the column name and data type. So once you type in, for example, here I'm just trying to type in remove the mail to colon and mail colon prefix in all the emails. So once I type it, it typically gives you a confirmation screen asking, hey, do you want to apply this transformation? You also see the preview at the left on this column, which clearly explains that this will be the output. and it highlights all the values. So you can simply go ahead and click on apply transformation, and that's going to simply transform your data. It fixes your data quality in that particular column and gives you the output. So you can continue the conversation. For example, you can just go ahead and say like, remove the special characters in my phone number column, like you have hyphens and so on. So when you just typed in, once again, just in a couple of clicks, it understands your question, it processes it, it leverages the appropriate transformation process or build the required formula to do this behind the scenes for you. So this is kind of like a conversation mode. You can continue the process as and when you keep typing in. So let's say you just want to fill all the empty values inside your revenue column as 0 instead of null. Why? If you have it as null, you cannot use it in some computations. It's good to have 0 so that it can be added as a part of a computation. So I'm just trying to do that. So once I perform all these things in the natural language, it helps you to cleanse your data. Now, formula creation. So once you're done with that, the next stage is all about the formula creation. So formula creation is nothing but building metrics on top of your data. You may have, once again, like you may have a lot of columns. On top of it, you prefer to build some key metrics, which helps you to perform some analysis or group your data, cleanse your data, and all those stuff. So in this case, I have a column called company size, in which we have the count of employees. So I just want to group it based on, let's say, less than 100 is considered as a small, medium business, 100 to 1,000 is considered as a mid-sized business, and companies with above 1,000 users or employees are considered as a large enterprise, right? So I just hint or type in my prompt, like, can you bucket this company size column as less than 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 above, right? So when I just type in and generate this, this gives me a formula. So in this case, this is going to be a case-win formula at the bottom. As you can see here, it go ahead and use that company size column name, and it automatically apply the appropriate criteria and help you to tag it accordingly, right? So the reason that we are sending the metadata information to OpenAI, which is the column names and table names and data type, is this. As you can see here, it gives you the response with that appropriate column names, but still your transactional data doesn't go out of Zoho data center at all. So this way, you can build a lot of metrics, you can perform a lot of categorizations and all the stuff, which really helps you to perform any analysis in no go, right? In no time. Now, once you're done with that, you can also perform a lot more things on top of it. But by the way, each and every action that you perform in Ask Zia will be created as a rule set inside your pipeline. So whenever your data set coming in from the source, whenever it is refreshing or synchronizing, it automatically goes through that rule set and help you to see the latest and greatest data, right? So once you're done with that, the next stage is all about transforming data with examples. So the examples so far I have shown was more towards cleansing your data, and then you do a transformation using building a formula or metric. Then you get into another layer where you are in a point that you're not sure what you want to do in terms of functions and syntax and all those stuff, but you're still aware of your output, right? So this is my desired output. This is what I prefer to see as an output, right? So in this case, I have a column called email. So what I'm trying to do is I just need to extract all the domain names in my email. So what I'm doing, I'm using this feature called transform by example. So once I do it, I can simply go ahead and, sorry, just a minute. So once I enable this transform by example, I know what exactly the output I'm looking for. So I just simply go ahead and type in my domain name. So that's the result I want. So it automatically generates the formula you can see here at the right. Like it's going to be creating a formula called substring underscore index, and put your email column and go ahead and say like it's going to be at -1. So once you do it, it automatically builds the formula and extract the values out of it. So similarly, you can split the, let's say, the day wise or day or week number or year, whatever the information that you want to split or extract and see it as an output, you can do that as well. So these are all three different things that you can use. And by the way, the first Ask Zia capability is something that is powered by OpenAI. And of course, you can also use this transform by example, which is powered by OpenAI as well. But there are other capabilities which is inbuilt and built by Zoho. It uses its own Zoho stack, which is something what we call it as pre-built transformation and pre-built enrichment. So what is data transformation? You're transforming data into different aspects. For example, the formula creation is one of the transformation, right? But enrichment is slightly different. Enrichment is what you can do. You enrich your data, like let's say you have reviews from your customers in a long text. Like you have a column with long text reviews. You prefer to understand the sentiment associated with that. So you go ahead and enable the sentiment analysis, which gives you whether it is a positive review or a negative review, right? So it's impossible for you to go ahead and read each and every review or a comment and do that. Or probably it's impossible for you to go ahead and find what is the most common reason, which is typically given as a part of the survey response for returning a product or something, right? So to perform all these analysis, you need to go ahead and do something called data enrichment. So that's what we do. We offer this as a pre-built capabilities right inside the business context. So right from cluster and merge, sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, language detection, all these things are powered by Zoho's AI stack available contextually. Let's see a quick example here. Let's say I'm just trying to find a column called brand, and this brand has multiple brand names like Samsung, Sony, Yamaha, and so on. But if you have a look at that at the right, the term Samsung is like, you've got typos in it. There is a Sam space Sung, there is a Samsung and all those stuff. So you just want to group this. What you can do, you can go ahead and click on that particular column, which gives you a whole lot of typical data preparation and transformation process. So all you need to do is just simply go ahead and select something called cluster and merge. So what happens, it uses the AI, it uses this metaphor algorithm, or also it gives you a choice of different other algorithms which you can use. Simply select that and go ahead and apply. It automatically groups the different versions of Samsung, the different versions of StarTech, and helps you to go ahead and replace it. But please note that it is not going to be always 100% accurate. It will try to bring you the maximum accuracy on top of your data set and help you to group it. So this is one of the examples in terms of pre-built transformation. Similarly, you also have other options such as, so in this case, I'm just trying to create this cluster and merge, which is created as a rule set. So whenever my new data set comes in, it fixes it. So in terms of sentiment analysis, this is the example I was referring to. You have a long text in a column, which is like a review or feedback or notes. So you just need to apply a sentiment on top of it to find whether it is a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment, and analyze like what percentage of positive sentiment or response that you get. Similarly, keyword extraction is typically used in the survey responses, the notes in the sales process like CRM notes or desk notes and so on. So what happens is when you have this descriptive text, you can enable the keyword extraction, which will extract the most commonly repeated keywords that is used in those texts. For example, let's say the shipping problem or probably the product breakage or something else, it extracts those most commonly used text and gives you the response as a keyword extraction. Similarly, you can perform the language detection in case you're doing the multilingual aspects as well, which helps you to plan things prepare from which part of the world you get more response in your social media with different languages and all those stuff to understand the demographic of your audience, right? So all these enrichment and enhancements can be performed on top of your dataset seamlessly with the help of Zoho's own stack, as well as with the help of OpenAI integration with high data privacy and security. That's in terms of the data preparation layer. The next is something called building ML models for analytics workflow. So ML models, if you're aware of it, it's a machine learning, data science and machine learning concept. Some of you who may not attended the session yesterday in analytics track, the last session, data science and machine learning modeling. So it's just to give you what it is, just to explain you the concept, that is, it helps you to build custom ML models for you, the customized machine learning models for you to perform some specific actions like prediction, clustering, and all those stuff. So if you do the generic way of prediction, for example, let's say you just want to predict like how exactly your sales forecasting going to work, you can simply go ahead and enable the predictive AI capabilities, which is like a lot of pre-built models available right inside the Zoho Analytics. So you can choose like ARIMA, ETS, all those techniques to simply predict your data. But the data prediction happens based on your parameters such as date column and the values. So let's say you have a date and then you have a values that goes up and down. So based on the seasonality factor, it go ahead and do the prediction. But what if you want to do the sales prediction for your business, which is going to be more and more contextual and personalized use case, right? So you might need to include 100 different parameters to do this prediction, right? So you cannot go ahead and say, just based on how the seasonality happens, I cannot go ahead and make a prediction. You might need to include something like your marketing spend, your marketing data, your government policy scores, or your recent past traction, the product release or service aspect, your customer response satisfaction rate, and a lot more parameters can be considered for doing your forecasting in terms of, let's say it's going to be like a sales forecasting or demand forecasting or whatever. So for that, you need to build ML models, and that's the role of the data scientist, right? The data scientist, one of the high-paying jobs, as you all know. So not all companies has the luxury to build things with the data scientist. So to address that, there is a concept called auto ML, automatic machine learning model building, and that's what we do provide in Zoho Analytics. So it provide you the complete life cycle of automated way of building the machine learning models. You can do something called feature engineering, hyperparameter tuning, and a lot more stuff on top of it. And you can do the complete life cycle like training, testing, deployment, and everything seamlessly without using any code. So this is the AutoML feature. Let's say I'm just trying to build a ML model to do the prediction on top of my data, which is the churn data, right? So I just want to do a churn prediction with my existing customer base. So whether my customer, this particular customer will churn or not based on their activity, so that I can send the contextual marketing emails, promotions, provide some more discounts and all those stuff. So to do that, when I create this analysis, I just need to specify something called training data, which is my historic data, which helps the machine learning model to be trained on its own and perform the prediction. So all you need to do is once you select this, then you can go ahead and customize things such as feature engineering, hyperparameter tuning, and so on, which is kind of like a deep concept, but it still helps you to automatically suggest and do the best optimized things for you. You can go ahead and pick and choose and make changes out of it if needed. And as long as you understand how these things work, you don't want to code, but still you need to understand the logic. If you do that, then you'll be able to perform this model building process seamlessly without any coding here, right? So this automatically pick and choose the models, suggest you the models based on the data that you have, the history and all the stuff, right? So that's one of the key AI capabilities available as a part of the DSML, the data science and machine learning segment that we offer as a part of the platform. So you can explore how that model perform, the explanation factors and all those stuff, and then decide and deploy. So it's always like you cannot build one model and perform everything. It always an iterative process, which is multiple layers of multiple model building, but you can still do that. So apart from that, the another important capability that we offer in terms of data science is something called Code Studio. Code Studio is like offer all pro code developers. You can have a Python environment, but more importantly, you can also use Ask ZI in this context. You can go ahead and type in the prompt, generate the code, and go ahead and insert it or optimize it and make a use of it, right? That's more towards the data science layer. With that, we are just coming to the analysis and exploration part of Zoho Analytics, right? So when it comes to the analysis and exploration part, that's where you have a lot of AI capabilities and you'll use it in day-to-day for a lot of, workload. I mean, you can simply optimize and make it more effective by using it, right? So in this case, the first capability that you all know is, some of you might aware of it, called Ask Zia, right? So have anybody tried Ask Zia in the Zoho Analytics platform before? Very few. Okay, good. So Ask Zia, it uses this Gen AI tech along with behind the scenes, it uses this natural language processing and all those statistical analytical methods, the predictive analytical methods to give you the response for your questions, right? So it is a conversational mode. You can type in what you want and you can continue that conversation. Moreover, it is also multilingual. It can be supported in multiple languages like English, Spanish, French. We're going to launch the Portuguese and so on. Then, more importantly, it is highly customizable and trainable. This is where I really need to spend a couple of minutes and explain things. It is very, very important to customize and train your data to use it effectively in the AI. If you don't do that, it's going to be like it don't understand your business context. It don't understand your industry, right? It don't understand your vertical because somebody might be from healthcare, somebody might be from supply chain, logistics. It differs, right? So all you need to do is you can customize and train your data and stack to make it work accordingly. Also, for all the business apps integration, it is kind of like a pre-trained. So you have this pre-trained for those all the business apps integration, and all these capabilities can be seamlessly embedded anywhere. So you can take this bot, go ahead and embed inside your CRM or put it inside your finance application and provide access to your customers to easily access it, right? Or probably within your organization, maybe different types of users. So a quick example of how exactly Ask Zia works. So this is the conversational interface. So you just go ahead and type what you want. Like let's say it's going to be like order quantity by shipment mode, and the priority when you type it, it generates the report automatically on top of it. Now also you have choice of asking more and more questions and make it more precise and do a fine-grained analysis on top of it. But you can also enable OpenAI in this context and ask few other questions such as SQL query building, formula building, and so on. So a couple of skill sets that we don't support can be leveraged through OpenAI integration. So in this case, let's say I'm just trying to build a SQL query contextually, I can do that as well. So I can execute it, test this query, and use it appropriately. Also, this is multilingual. So in case you just want to switch it to French, Spanish, you can go ahead and do it. And you can type in your question and get the response appropriately. Or as I said, all these can be taken to different context where you can let your business users to use it along with your day-to-day business applications. For example, it is available as a bot in the Microsoft marketplace. So you can simply install it, provide the necessary authentication, and start using it seamlessly as a part of your analysis process. But as I said, this is where I'm going to spend a couple of minutes in specific. You have to customize and train your data and prepare it for the AI purpose. So assuming that you're trying to integrate your Zoho Finance application with Zoho Analytics, along with Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk, you want to consolidate all these data in one place. And you want to use the Ask Zia as an AI capability on top of it. Now, how you do? You just need to go ahead and integrate it and start using it. That's good. But we are talking about like at least of 300, 400 tables easily, like data sets. Also, we are talking about at least 1,000 joins in between the tables. And we are talking at least like 3,000 to 5,000 columns inside your data. Why? When you see the data in your finance application like invoice, you see it as a one single interface. But when it comes as a raw data for analysis purpose, it's going to be multiple tables. Your invoice will be split into invoice and invoice items. Your bill is going to be split into bills and bills items. So each and every column, every table will have the foreign currency, the base currency, or probably the conversion rate, the subtotal tax, and all the stuff will be available in each and every data set, right? Now, when you perform the analysis on top of it, what's happening, Zia will be confused in terms of what column I can pick, because you will be simply asking questions. You will be in expectation that it should understand everything in the context of invoices. But when you simply ask, like, show me the total value or pending value, it can go ahead and automatically say, find it from bills for a vendor's context, right? So it can be anything. So to avoid that, what typically the best model is building semantic layer in between your raw data and your analytics activities. So semantic layer is something that you can write key metrics, which is formulas, whatever I have shown to you. You can also, enable or disable the right data set. You can, in case you want to do the developer expertise with SQL queries, you can do that as well. So you build semantic layers in between, right? And then when you open this up to your business users, or in case you want to use it, right? You scope down the data, what can be included for Ask Zia. So forget about the 3000 columns. Keep it like 30, 40 columns, what you typically use, which is like key metrics in your business. And then you have a choice of training your Zia by specifying the right synonyms and set the priority for your columns as well. It's a one-time effort. It's like taking a pill and so on and taking some time to get ready. But if you do that, it reduces your effort, your analysis effort, right? I just referred this today morning as well. One of our customers based out of Exeter in UK, they have a good BI team, like 10 members team, and they have global presence who manufacture uh, uh, spare parts for tractors and all their vehicles and so on. So what they do, they have the data coming from 12 or 11 or 12 different SQL instance, along with Salesforce, along with SAP, right? We are talking about like more than 1,000 data sets and more than 15,000 columns. But what they do, they spend like 2 to 3 weeks of time. First, they decide what is necessarily required. They enabled it, the required column. They scope down to like 200 or less than 200. And then it's all the key metrics that they built using the formulas and so on. And then they contextually enable the Ask Zia on top of the dashboard for everyone in their organization across the world. Since it is multilingual, users can ask questions in the multiple languages. And they set the priority as well. So it picked the right column and help them to perform ad hoc analysis seamlessly. Now their workload was literally reduced by 30 or 40%, because for each and every small thing, they don't want to contact the BI team to do it, right? So that's how you have to use it effectively. So train the Zia, prepare your data, only then you can do that. Next important capability that we offer is what we call it as decision intelligence. So we let you to analyze your data. You just type in what you want and it gives you the response and you analyze it. But decision intelligence is all about helping you to find all other possible analysis on top of your report. Along with that, not just finding what's happening in your data, but also it helps you to explore why certain things are happening with the diagnostic capability. Here is a quick example. Let's say you have this monthly ad spend versus sales in 2024. Now, I just want to know what are all the other associated metrics in this particular report. So when I click on Zia Insights at the right, it gives me a whole lot of insights saying that this is how it is working. Behind this report, the data set, there are different types of analysis happen, such as trendline analysis, distribution analysis, comparison analysis, correlation analysis, and a lot more. So all these insights and data has been provided at the right in a text format. You can simply read it and understand how things works, and significantly reduce your time to analysis. Over and above, you have a choice of customizing it, meaning you can say what kind of analysis can be typically performed on this data set, so that you don't want to go ahead and do it every time. So once you specify it, it can automatically take it up. Third, it also provides this diagnostic capability. For example, if you see in this particular video, the Jan 2025 sales was declined by 15%. So when you go ahead and click on diagnostic analysis, it'll just simply take you to the page where it explains you the potential drivers which is affecting your sales, right? So when I say the potential drivers, once again, this can be also optimized through some configurations, because it will try to pick the relevant data in the business context. If that doesn't work, you can also set what are all the associated data set for a particular column. Because whenever we are talking about sales, you can go ahead and talk about the associated marketing spend. So you can just specify that always include marketing spend as a part of your analysis. So it's less than a minute work. If you do it, it will be more contextual. So it automatically understands the scope of you're trying to analyze the sales versus marketing. It'll try to pick the right campaign data and give you the response on top of it, explaining that the sales was down because that campaign was not performing well. So probably you may reconsider the particular campaign, right? So that's the diagnostic capability, and this was the configuration I was referring to. You have a choice of changing the configurations based on your preference. Apart from this, another capability that we provide is something called auto analysis. So if you have no clue of how to analyze your data, right, but you still have a raw data, you leverage this capability where you just need to simply go ahead and hit on this auto analysis. That's it. So it automatically goes through the heuristic set of analysis behind the scenes and give you a quick preview on the output. So for example, this is like once again the ad spending. So it gives you a quick review and perform some analysis based on the ads data. You can review this. If you think this is contextual, go ahead and just use it as it is. If you want to modify it or perform this analysis based on different data set, you can customize those data set as well. Or you can just save this and make some edits on top of it as well. But this is a very good feature to kickstart your analytics journey without taking so much of time on top of it. So that's how the auto analysis capability work. And finally, the predictive AI capabilities. So remember, I was talking about the data science and machine learning features in the product. So when you use the data science, you build ML models precisely for your business needs, right? But what if you want to perform some simple, quick, advanced analytics like forecasting or anomaly detection or clustering and a lot more? For that, Zoho Analytics comes up with 40 plus pre-built models behind the scenes for all these activities. And all these things can be enabled just within a couple of clicks. For example, let's have a look at this video. I'm trying to find anomaly on top of my trend analysis data. So I can simply click on this analysis at the top and go ahead and enable the anomaly. So by default, Zoho Analytics picks the best model or method that works for your anomaly detection based on your data, like RPCA and so on. But if you prefer to customize that to an extent, you can also do that by changing it to the statistical method and so on, and enable the anomaly on top of any given data set, right? So similarly, you can also enable and perform simple statistical forecasting. Like let's say you just want to perform a trend forecasting based on different influencing factors or different models and so on. Just within a couple of clicks, you'll be able to do it. So once again, this is the first level. But over and above, when you get into the advanced analytics of complete, personalized way of model building for your precise way of forecasting, then you need to get into the data science layer for model building. But this is something that is an easy go-to option for you. So similarly, cluster analysis, if you want to group a customer based on different aspects, you can enable the cluster analysis on top of your data and get it done once again within a couple of clicks, right? Yeah, so those are all the key capabilities of Ask Zia. With that, a quick recap. This is how AI evolved and BI evolved, and now we are in the stage that everything is going to be powered by agentic, automated, with more privacy, with more AI tech stack powered by Zoho. Thank you.